Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give you my WWE Payback 2015 review. Um, the show got off the air like a little over an hour ago. The reason why I didn't do it right away is because I didn't watch it here. I watched it at my friend's house, and when he was driving me back, he had to. It was me, my friend, Steve Ezekiel, um, Andrew Badinsky. He met. He's been on here through the phone, and my friend's brother Justin Ezekiel. He has a YouTube channel. You can check it out. It has like one video on it, but you can watch that one video several times. I don't. It doesn't matter to me. Um, and I pretty much went down there all weekend, so I was just there anyway. So I figured, why not watch the pay-per-view there? I hooked up my WWE network and I just left it on. There, I didn't sign out of it or anything, just because it's his graduation gift and he wants it on the PS3. There was some problems with it, um, and some glitches, and I kind of fucking hate that because they've been doing this shit for a year, and you would think that they would learn how to fucking do it, but I guess not. Um, but yeah, I'm here to give you my WWE Payback 2015 review. I have to get up really early tomorrow, so I kind of want to try to get through this as quickly as possible. But I'm probably gonna say that now and end up going like a long period of time. So whatever. All right, so let's just kick it off. We have the pre-show and we have the panel of Renee Young, Booker T, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton. And we have on commentary for both the pre-show and the real show itself. We have JBL, Michael Cole, and Jerry the King Lawler. Um, Something funny is my friend did a really funny Booker T impression, and it was really good. And I thought it was really funny. And I'm not really gonna explain it because it's just so funny. You have to be there. It's like one of those moments you have to be there. It's funny. So yeah. So then we get Dolph Ziggler gets interviewed about his match with Sheamus, and he talks about how Sheamus has made this thing personal, and he said that he's gonna bring out this intensity in him tonight, um, and talks about how Sheamus is one of the guys that seems all tough, but then when you stand up to him, he runs away, and afterwards he says that you are gonna get the same Dolph Ziggler every night, right on Sheamus, except a little bit more intensity. I thought it was a really good promo. It's pretty good stuff. And they made an announcement for the Elimination Chamber match. They're gonna have an Elimination Chamber match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view for the vacated Intercontinental Championship. I think that should be solid stuff. They're probably gonna do some qualifying matches on Raw for that, and I can't wait to see it. Um, and yeah, I think that should be good stuff. So then Nikki and Brie, the Bella twins, get interviewed, and Brie Bella talks about Daniel Bryan's injury, how he got injured. Says that it's so heartbreaking because Daniel Bryan loves professional wrestling, and says that it's everything that he's dreamed about doing. And she talks about how she loves Daniel Bryan, um, and how Daniel Bryan's one of her biggest inspirations, and then they get asked whether or not Daniel Bryan's gonna be a distraction tonight in the match against Tamina Snuka and Naomi, and they say no, Daniel Bryan isn't a distraction. They're an inspiration, and they claim Naomi and Tamina claim that they're family, but no one's a bigger family than the Bella twins. I actually thought that this wasn't, I guess, bad stuff. It was pretty good. Um, then we get a bonus match added on the pre-show. It was R-Truth versus Stardust. I thought this was an okay match here. Stardust hits a sit-down rock bottom. That looked really cool. But then R-Truth wins with Little Jimmy. I thought that was pretty good stuff. I actually thought Stardust would win this match, but I'm glad R-Truth went over. I don't really think it's going to further anybody's careers, but I like R-Truth, so yeah. And then Sheamus does the Twitter Q&A, and he gets a question asking why what's up with his hair, and he says that he changed his look because he wants to look like a really tough Irish brute, really tough Irish fighter. He gets asked if he could tag with anybody in the WWE, past, present, or future. Who would it be? Sheamus says he doesn't need a partner. He's a lone wolf, and every time he's in a tag team, he always loses, which is kind of true. Um, and he says, "Are you worried?" Then the last question is, "Are you worried you're gonna get attacked by No, are you worried that Dolph Ziggler's gonna beat you again tonight?" And Sheamus says that he is not worried because at Extreme Rules he was just playing around with Dolph Ziggler. Tonight he's gonna hurt Dolph Ziggler and beat him. I thought it was pretty decent stuff by Sheamus. I thought he was good. And then we get Connor and Victor of the Ascension versus the Mega Powers, which is um, Macho Mandow, Damian Sandow, and Axel Mania, Curtis Axel. And this was really cool stuff right here. Macho Mandow comes out like Randy Savage because that's what he's supposed to be. And Axel Mania comes out like Hulk Hogan. Curtis Axel's all dressed up like Hulk Hogan. I thought it was really cool stuff. And I think it was Connor tries to attack. No, Victor tries to attack Axel Mania. And Axelmania starts hulking up. He hits the big boot and the leg drop, and Connor comes in and saves it. They beat the crap out of Axelmania for a while. And then Macho Man now gets the hard tag. He starts hitting all of Randy Savage's moves on him. Then eventually Randy Savage goes up top to do the elbow, but then Victor takes out Axelmania. And then the Ascension hit the Fall of Man on Macho Mandow for the win. I was kind of disappointed that the Ascension went over because I didn't really want them to win. I kind of wanted the Mega Powers to win. Um, but overall, I can't complain about it because at least the Ascension, I guess, didn't get buried in this match, and they really need to stop pushing the Ascension. So I guess it had to have been a win-loss situation because I probably would have said the same thing if not the Mega Powers and went over. So I guess to me it was a lose-lose situation. Um, so yeah, the pre-show I thought was pretty good. I guess it was just a pre-show. It was okay though. I didn't hate it. I think adding an extra match definitely helps the pre-show because it feels like it's just a lot of panels and stuff like that. I think adding an extra match definitely helps the pre-show. By the way, so I just want to say that. So then we get to and maybe I was watching it with friends too, so that probably helped. I probably would have felt the same way. Who knows? But then we get to the actual show. We get Sheamus versus Dolph Ziggler. I thought this was a really good match. Dolph Ziggler just starts beating the crap out of Sheamus. He hits a elbow right off the top. I thought that was cool. Cool. Ziggler hits a crossbody. Sheamus kicks out of it. Um, just Ziggler starts beating the crap out of Sheamus, and then Sheamus starts dominating the match. Hitting power slams and Irish Coast backbreakers and all that stuff. And then eventually Dolph Ziggler gets Sheamus in the corner, and Ziggler gets his retribution. He makes Sheamus kiss his ass. I thought that was really good stuff. And the way Sheamus sort of too was like coughing afterwards, he had to grab water. And then Sheamus went for a blow kick, and then Ziggler hit a Fameasser, and Sheamus kicked out of that. And then Ziggler, and then Sheamus hit a Celtic Cross, and Ziggler kicked out of that. Then Sheamus got Ziggler in the Texas Cloverleaf, but Ziggler was able to get to the ropes. And then Sheamus started slapping Ziggler around. Then Ziggler hit a super kick, and then here you saw that Ziggler was busted open. I don't really know what busted him open, but he was busted open here. And Sheamus was able to kick out of the super kick, and then Sheamus starts Ziggler goes for another one. Sheamus throws him face first down to the floor, and then Sheamus hits a bro kick for the win. And I love the way Sheamus won because he looked so strong winning. And I think they're gonna start pushing Sheamus now. And I really think I mean they were pushing him before, but this is like it felt like they're really gonna stop pushing him. And I like the way Sheamus looked really strong out here. I thought, and I thought it was really good stuff. Um, so then Corporate Kane's backstage, and then Seth Rollins comes in and tells Kane that they have to put the differences aside to help me win tonight. And Kane says, well, and they just talk about all the stuff they've been doing to each other. And Kane says that he doesn't need this job, but he loves this job. And Seth Rollins says, in the end, you'll do what's best for business. And Kane says that it's his fault that he's in this situation, that it's Rollins' fault. Rollins needs to stop being a man and detaining the title, and it's his fault he's in this position in the first place. I thought it was solid stuff. So then we get the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Kofi Kingston and Big E with Xavier Woods defending the WWE Tag Team Championships against Cesaro and Tyson Kidd in a 2 out of 3 falls match. I thought it was a really good match. To be honest with you, me and my friends kept saying nigga down every time the New Day was down. We're not racist, we just don't like the New Day that much, so but the match was really solid. Cesaro and Kidd start dominating the New Day. They just destroy them. They beat the crap out of them throughout the first half of the match. They do a lot of tag team moves, like Cesaro did a suplex, and Tyson Kidd went off the top into it and did an elbow drop to Kofi Kingston. I thought that was really good. And I thought it was good that when Tyson Kidd launched Kofi into Cesaro, and he did like a spine buster, that was really cool. And Cesaro and Kidd get the first fall. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention Natalia was at ringside with Cesaro and Kidd. But Cesaro and Kidd get the first fall when Cesaro does the swing and Tyson Kidd does the drop kick on Kofi Kingston, and they get a pinfall victory. I thought that was good stuff. And then eventually Xavier Woods is pissed, so he gets up on and we kept saying to Xavier Woods too that the only way we could find Xavier Woods is in the woods because his name is Xavier Woods. So yeah, and Natalia pulls him down and she slaps him. Tyson Kidd just starts taking out the New Day, and then he goes to go off the top and he gets caught by Big E, and he does a belly to back flow onto Tyson Kidd, and the New Day just starts dominating Tyson Kidd. And then eventually Cesaro starts interfering, tries to turn things around, but then Big E spears him right outside the ring. So then Tyson Kidd gets an insecurity on Kofi, but there's no one for him to tag, so he can't really go tag anybody. Big E charges the corner, and Tyson Kidd hits a roll-up, but Big E kicks out of it. Then eventually Big E and Kofi hit the big ending into the like the boom drop off the top that Kofi Kingston does, with Kofi Kingston landing on him, and they get the second fall, and they continue to dominate Tyson Kidd. Then Tyson Kidd hits an enziguri. Cesaro comes in, he gets a hot tag, he hits a bunch of uppercuts on Kofi Kingston in the corner. He had a wicked uppercut again. Tyson Kidd hit a dive through the ropes on the Big E. I thought that was cool. What else happened? Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. Cesaro hit a backstabber while Tyson Kidd hit an elbow. I thought that was cool. And everyone was just hitting moves on each other, hitting dives and uppercuts and all that. Then eventually, the referee was distracted by Big E, and Kofi hangs Cesaro up on the ring, and Tyson Kidd got the sharpshooter win on Kofi too. I forgot to mention that. And then Xavier Woods comes in behind the ref's back and rolls up Cesaro, and the referee doesn't know it's Xavier Woods, so he makes the count anyways. And the New Day win. I'm pissed about it because I don't like the New Day, but it was, I guess, a good match. But yeah, I just didn't want the New Day to win. So then we get Ryback interview, and he talks about how Bray Wyatt's trying to get him to feel him, but he feels like but he wants to take all that negative energy that Bray Wyatt's given to him and turn it into something positive. And he said that he's gonna feast on the eater of worlds or something like that. I thought it was a decent promo. And he just starts doing this Femi More thing, and then we get Bray Wyatt versus Ryback. And I wrote down in my notes because we were talking about like what the like catchphrase would be if they became a tag team, and me and my friends came up with some options. We wrote "Feed me the buzzards and follow me more." Some of the shit we say. So yeah. Ryback. So we get the match: Ryback versus Wyatt. Ryback just beats the crap out of Wyatt in the beginning of the match, and then eventually Wyatt hits a forearm, is able to turn things around, and just starts going off on Wyatt. He hits Ryback goes shoulder first into the steel post, and then Wyatt hits a DDT on Ryback on the apron, and then he does a senton from the apron, which was really cool. and Wyatt just continues to beat the crap and dominate Ryback. Ryback makes some sort of comeback. He hits a spine buster. No, he hits a power slam. He hits a scoop slam, and Bray Wyatt kicks out of that. And then Ryback goes for a Miho clothesline, but Wyatt rolls outside the ring. No, Wyatt hits a splash, and then Ryback hits a splash, and then a spine buster. Ryback goes for a Miho clothesline. Wyatt rolls outside the ring. Ryback goes again, when then Wyatt hits a wicked clothesline on Ryback, and I thought that looked really cool right there. Then Wyatt goes for Sister Abigail. Ryback counters into a spine buster, then a Miho clothesline. No, Wyatt hits the suplex. Then and Ryback kicks out. And then Wyatt tries to superplex him off the top. Ryback counters and hits a splash off the top. Ryback kicks out. No, Wyatt kicks out, and then Ryback goes for hits the Miho clothesline. Then he goes for the shell shock, and then Wyatt holds on to the ropes. And while he's doing this, he takes off the turnbuckle, and the referee gets distracted by that. And then Wyatt throws Ryback's ribs first, which were injured in the match, in the exposed turnbuckle, and then hits the Sister Abigail for the win. So Wyatt went over here. I'm actually glad he went over. I mean, they both needed the win, but I think Wyatt needed it more because I think he's going to face Sting. Well, there's rumors that he's going to face Sting at SummerSlam, so I think they obviously need to make him look good and going into that match. I don't think it's a good idea to do that match for obvious reasons, and I'll talk about it if it actually happens. Maybe I'll talk about it in a different video. But yeah, Wyatt went over. I think there's no real reason to continue this feud because Wyatt beat him here, so Wyatt's won the war pretty much. If they had done that whole Bo Dallas situation where Ryback attacked Bo Dallas, and then he tried to convert Bo Dallas, then maybe, but I think now that Wyatt should just, if the Wyatt family had reformed too, I kind of wanted to see that happen, but it didn't. So then we get the next match, we get, John Cena defending the United States Championship against Rusev with Lana in an I Quit match. So Rusev just wants Cena, before the match starts, Rusev says that Cena should say I quit now to avoid any beatings, but Cena doesn't quit. He attacks him, and then Rusev starts beating the crap out of Cena. And the fans are starting to love Lana, so he has Lana sit down in a chair. And so that way, I guess no one will cheer for her. And the whole match, from a lot of it, is just Rusev beating the shit out of Cena, and the referee having Rusev ask John Cena if he wants to quit, but he doesn't ever quits. And Rusev grabs the suplexes Cena and throws Cena to the steps. So yeah, because that was the whole match, just Rusev beating the shit out of Cena, and Cena did hit his 5 moves of doom too. And then Rusev throws Cena into the steps. He puts Cena, and then he throws him into the barricade, but he doesn't quit. Then he throws Cena in the ring, and then he grabs the bottom half of the steps, and he sets it up in the corner, and Rusev threatens to throw Cena in there if he doesn't quit. But Cena doesn't quit, so Rusev throws Cena in there, I think 3 times. And then Cena starts going off on Rusev. He hits an AA. No, Rusev goes to powerbomb Cena on the steps. Cena counters with a back body drop. And he goes for the AA on the steps, but then Rusev hits the spine buster move on Cena on the steps. And then Cena doesn't quit there. Cena hits an AA on the steps, I believe. And then Rusev doesn't quit. And then Cena goes to throw the steps outside the ring onto Rusev, but Rusev moves out of the way. And Cena starts just beating the crap out of Rusev and throws him into the steel post. And he threatens to put Rusev through the barricade if he doesn't quit. But Rusev doesn't quit, so he still does it. But Rusev still doesn't quit. And they start brawling in the crowd. Cena tries to push a blue crate right into Rusev, but Rusev counters with a kick. And Cena doesn't quit after that. and then they just start fighting in the crowd. They start fighting by the tech area, and Rusev hits that same move that he did on the steps onto a table, but Cena just hits it AA because it didn't really hurt Cena that much. And then Cena grabs like a monitor, hits Rusev in the back with it. Then he grabs a laptop, just continually hits Rusev in the back with it, and Rusev never quits. Something that was funny is there was a table that same table was cornered, and Rusev was like hiding under the tables, and to like Cena couldn't see him, and I thought that was funny. And then Rusev hits that same move through the table, and Cena doesn't quit after that. So they start fighting to the up to the stage, and Cena hits an AA right into like we're behind the LED boards, and the pyrotechnics go off, which was really awesome. And Lana looked really concerned. She started coming up, but Rusev still doesn't quit. And then I can't remember what else happens. I think something else happened. I think Cena grabbed a guardrail. And then Rusev did something. I don't remember what he did. Cena hit him with it. And then he walked down to the steps, and Rusev still doesn't quit. Then Rusev hits a suplex, and Cena goes right through the guardrail. And Cena still doesn't quit. So then Rusev hits a super kick, and then he gets Cena in the accolade. But Cena passes out, but technically you have to say I quit to win the match. It's that type of stipulation. So Rusev revives him. He takes off the top turnbuckle, and he's gonna use the accolade there. But then Cena counters with the STF while using the turnbuckle, and Rusev says no, and he keeps saying something in Bulgarian. You assume it's I quit, but since the ref can't understand him, he can't really tell him. So then Lana gets on the mic and he says, "Okay, he quits." And then the match ends and Cena wins. And I thought the match was really good. I really liked this match, even though you knew Cena was gonna win. There was no chance in hell Rusev had of winning. But I did like the way that Rusev lost. He didn't just say I quit. You had Lana say I quit for him, and then it makes Rusev at least look a little bit stronger. And you have Lana now. Now you can do the whole thing to break up Rusev and Lana, which I think is gonna happen throughout the next few weeks. So I think that should be good stuff. So then the New Day are backstage, and they're celebrating winning retaining the tag team titles. And Byron Saxton they talk about how they never complain, they don't curse, and they don't do something else. And they're just gonna celebrate. Byron Saxton says that he just got word that but then they're like at the Elimination Chamber, they're like, we know it's gonna be for the vacant Intercontinental Championship, but we find out there's gonna be a tag team Elimination Chamber match for the tag team championships, and they're not happy about this. I'm actually looking forward to that because I don't know. You could get some really good stuff with that. I hope it doesn't end up being something stupid, but I think it could really be something good if done properly, and I would like to see what they do with it. I just wonder though how they're gonna do a tag team chamber match. But I have a feeling they could make it work. Maybe, and I don't really know who could be in the match, but I wonder how they're gonna make it work. It really could work if they put their minds to it, I guess, and make it something special. So then we get the Bella Twins versus Naomi and Tamina Snuka. I thought this was a solid Divas match. It was pretty good. The heels dominate Brie Bella for a while, and then Nikki Bella gets the hot tag on Naomi, and she's going off on her. And then Tamina Snuka is being a distraction. Naomi hits the rear view, and Nikki kicks out of that. Then Brie dives off the steps right on Tamina. And then Nikki hits a forearm, but Naomi kicks out of that. And then Tamina throws Brie into the barricade. Then she distracts Nikki when she's trying to go off the top. And Naomi throws her off the top. And Naomi pins her and gets the win. And that was it. I thought it was really good stuff. I think this could be possibly setting up for that Samoan Dynasty when you bring Jimmy and Jay the Usos in, you have Rusev join them, and as a different name and gimmick, and Roman Reigns at Survivor Series, you have his big heel turn there. I think it could be really good stuff, but hopefully it happens. And Rusev and Lana are backstage. Rusev is upset that Lana did what cost Rusev the match, so he tells Lana to get out. And then we get Ken Barrett versus Neville. I thought this was a pretty good match. Neville starts hitting crossbodies, hurricanranas, and outs on Barrett, and Barrett hits a knee to the knee to the gut on Neville outside the ring, and then he just starts dominating Neville, just targeting his ribs and all that. Then Neville makes a comeback, and he hits a shooting star splash. I think a moonsault splash on Barrett, which I thought looked sick. And Neville just starts going off on Barrett. He hits a drop kick on him. He hits a hurricanrana, and then Barrett hits the winter change, which looks sick. And Neville kicked out of it. Neville went for the Red Arrow, but then Barrett was outside the ring, and then Neville took out Barrett with the flippy type of dive move. I think it was like a moon. I forget what it's called. And then Neville gets back in the ring, and Barrett just leaves. He gets up, and he realizes that I guess he's losing or something, so he just leaves, loses by count out. I didn't really care for that. I think they should have had a winner. Neville then eventually celebrates. Then Barrett attacks him. He bounces his head off the steps, throws him into the barricade, then starts getting his kin stuff on, like the robe, the scepter. Then Neville attacks him, and he breaks the scepter when he attacked him, and then he hits the red arrow on him. I thought that was pretty good stuff, I guess. I just wish they could have had a winner. I just thought it was a lose-lose situation for this case. But if you were just going to have Neville lay him out, why not just have him win the match? I'm just saying. So then Seth Rollins and J&J Security are backstage. Kane just comes up and wishes Seth Rollins good luck. Then we get the Fatal 4-Way. Rollins defending the title against Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns. And if Rollins doesn't retain, Kane's fired as Director of Operations. J&J Security just immediately interferes, so all hell breaks loose. Ambrose dives on everybody, and then Reigns dives on everybody, and then Reigns and Rollins start going at it. Something happens to them, I don't really remember. And then Ambrose and Orton get into it. They start fighting. Ambrose clotheslines Orton, and Ambrose and Reigns are kind of working together here because they're bros. And Kane's just watching. And Ambrose is just hitting all his moves on Rollins and Reigns, and eventually Kane just starts interfering in the match, and he just starts attacking everybody. And Rollins takes control on Ambrose. He hits the high knee, the super kick, the turnbuckle power bomb, and every time Ambrose tries to get some offense in, somebody will interfere. And anybody like Orton or Reigns tries to get in the match, Kane or J&J Security takes him out. Then eventually, Reigns comes and Orton take out Kane. Orton hits a clothesline. No, Orton hits a uppercut, and Reigns hits a drop kick. Then Orton hits a clothesline on Reigns. And then Orton and Ambrose start going after Rollins. And what else happens here? They're all just attacking each other. Eventually, it leads to outside the ring. Everybody just starts attacking Rollins. And then everybody attacks Orton. The Shield reform. Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns reform to attack Orton. And because Orton had taken off the announce table. And then the Shield do the triple powerbomb to Orton right through the announce table. I thought that was amazing. It was cool to see the Shield reunite. Then they start doing that fist thing. But Ambrose and Reigns aren't sold on it. So they start attacking Rollins. They hit a double powerbomb. Well, they go to hit a double powerbomb on Rollins. But Kane interferes. So they hit a double powerbomb on Kane on the Spanish announce table. But it doesn't break, so they just do it again. And then this time it breaks. So then Ambrose and Reigns realize they have to fight. So they start fighting. Reigns hits a Superman punch. Ambrose kicks out. Then he hits a spear. But Rollins comes in and breaks the count before the match ends. But Rollins runs away, and then J&J security trying to interfere. Reigns throws them, both of them, one of them into the steps, and then the other into the barricade, and they just start attacking Rollins, beat the shit out of him. And then eventually, Kane, um, Reigns hits a Superman punch, and Ambrose hits the rebound clothesline on it. Reigns, I thought that was cool. And then Kane takes out Reigns. He hits him. No, he takes out Ambrose, hits him off the skull with the steps, and then Reigns tries to Superman punch Kane, but Kane hits him with the steps, and then Kane chokeslams Reigns on the steps, and then Orton takes out Kane. And then Rollins tries to do the DDT to Orton, but Orton does the DDT counters. And then J&J security come in. They get RKO'd. Randy Orton goes for a rope DDT. Then Randy Orton hits Rollins. It goes off the top. Orton catches him into a scoop slam. Orton hits the rope DDT on Rollins. And then he goes for the RKO on Rollins. But then Rollins counters. Kane comes in. Orton hits an RKO on Kane. And then Rollins hits a pedigree on Orton. Wins the match and retains the championship. And then afterwards, Triple H comes out and holds up his hand. And that was the end of Payback. So I guess Kane technically is still with the Authority because he was really trying to help Rollins win this match. All of a sudden, he helped him win. I think I was just expecting Kane to eventually just turn on Rollins, but maybe what will happen is on the Raw the next night, Rollins will be talking shit to him. But to be honest with you, Payback I thought was a pretty good show. You had you had good matches like Sheamus and Ziggler. The New Day match was pretty good. What else was good? The Ryback was decent stuff. Rusev and Cena was really good. The Divas match I thought was not bad. Ken Barrett versus Neville was pretty good. All the matches were really good. The storylines I thought were really good that were going on this pay-per-view. The pre-show was solid. It just it was a good pay-per-view. I'm gonna give it that. It was good. I didn't think it was anything amazing or anything, but it was good. I guess it I really didn't have a lot of expectations, so I guess it overseeded that. But I didn't have a lot of expectations going in, so it's not really saying a lot. But I thought Payback was good. I'm gonna give it that. It was good. I thought it was gonna be like kind of like one of those pay-per-views like that was going to be mediocre at best, but I'm just going to say it was good. I thought it was good. It wasn't amazing, but it was good. But that's pretty much it, guys. I really have to get to bed, so that's why it kind of was very weird in this video, I guess. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'll be back to do some other videos throughout the week. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. See you later.